So right off the bat, it came out last week that James Gunn had got rehired after being fired by Disney last year around the time of Comic-Con because of some decade-old tweets that he had put out that were kind of insensitive to pedophilia, rape, and so on and so forth. And so basically Disney stated out that they just found out about this and that they let him go because of it, because of just the way the society and this culture works. And everything is revolving around some Trump tweets that he had put out, and that some people that were for Trump supporters or whatever had found these tweets and made them public, even though they were already public. Now I've already gave my stance on how I felt about the whole situation, and with like Disney more than likely knew, and if they didn't, then where I stood at. And basically where I stand out with this whole thing is that it's like I feel like I'm okay with it. I really am. I'm okay with it. I don't think it was anything truly bad. It was just bad taste. It was just his humor and how he does things. And it was like, not everybody get that type of humor. I know I certainly didn't. I don't, or whatever. But it was kind of in bad taste, in poor taste, or whatever. But that was a long time ago, and of course he is a new person now, and so certain things can be forgiven. I mean, a lot of times with companies, it's all about an image. Whether it's the image of the person that's representing it or just the image of the company, and that's what Disney got to look to, because you got to look at it. Disney got a lot of stuff on their hands. They got a lot of properties. They're family orientated, as well as the Fox acquisition that is basically about to go through in like a day or so. Not too long. We are only some hours away from it actually going through, about a day or so from the time of me recording this. So I mean, it's like I'm not against it. I'm not a person that think that he should stay fired and this and that, because Lord knows that he wasn't going to stay unemployed. He already got his producing credit on what is it, Brightburn, which actually looked like a really good movie, and then he was signed on by Warner Brothers to do Suicide Squad 2. So he's already got that in the can, and so now he's brought back, and we've known that, it's basically been brought out that anything, I guess you can expect anything that from casting of characters in a movie or whatever. A lot of times this stuff is months in the making, and then a person can be on for a character weeks or months prior, but then get released now. And that's the same with this, is like, this was months and them going in having talks and everything else, and he basically been brought back. They just really made it publicly official that he is back, and he is doing his thing he is about to do his thing with the Guardians of the Galaxy. But because of his prior commitment to Warner Brothers and DC's Suicide Squad 2, he's going to handle that first, and then after that, he's going to jump right on to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and finish that on. So we more than likely can kind of gather that it's right back on the plate of Marvel's movies that were coming out, because even though we only have like a handful of movies that or not even a handful, just like a few movies that we know are for sure were going to be made, even though they haven't put out their slate of movies that's coming out after Far From Home. We already know that Black Panther 2, Doctor Strange 2, and now we can add to that for sure that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is coming after that. Not real soon, as in like next year, maybe the year after, if everything goes together, but we know that it is going to be part of the new slate. And so it is for sure. So more than likely, Batista is going to come back as Drax, and everybody else is going to reprise their role. Will Gamora come back? We don't know. I don't know anything. But in any case, when it comes down to it, I'm down with it. I really don't have no real hard stance against it. But hey, if they feel like it's the right thing to do for their company, it's only going to up their stock, especially if it's the best one out of that. franchise. And then if he does well with the Suicide Squad 2, they probably might bring him on for part 3. So it only ends well for James Gunn. He can only go up from there, and hopefully later on he doesn't do anything, and this kind of like makes him more cautious to what he puts out there, in the atmosphere. So that was my thoughts on it.